Kurt, I understand why, the Koch brothers would want deregulation. They want to be able to drill and do their, sort of fossil fuel business without worrying about the environment. I understand why people who want to go and drill in Yellowstone because they think those geysers mean they can get rich off natural gas. I get why big business or Wall Street would want to be deregulated so they could reopen the casino that crashed the economy in 2008. They wanted to get rid of Glass-Steagall. Clinton did it for them. I get why the rich and corporations want deregulation. But how did Republicans pull off this parlor trick of getting your ordinary rank-and-file Republican to cheer for deregulation, too?
Going back to the Obama administration, you heard the steady drumbeat from Republicans in Congress talk about the regulatory tsunami that was being inflicted upon small business and big businesses by President Obama. This is something they've been talking about pretty much for the last 8 years, and now we're seeing that rhetoric turn into action. And I think Republicans in Congress particularly, they're tied to this. They've talked about it. They have to do it. They have to support it because they spent the last 8 years complaining about one president, and now when Trump tries to basically undo everything that President Obama did, there's nothing they can say about it. And the fact that this is a process that's happening right now with zero transparency, zero accountability, this isn't recommendations being made to Congress to vote on and take something away. This is being done by executive fiat, and that's incredibly dangerous. We don't even know who comes into the White House to meet with the president and the administration. They got rid of the White House visitor logs, making those public. So this is being written by lobbyists and special interests and big enterprises at the expense of the working men and women of this country.
And you know Donald Trump, Tara. I mean, having been on The Apprentice with him, I mean, this is a guy who doesn't like to be. He likes to be unfettered in the way he does business in the real estate market. He's used to basically just muscling some local official to be able to get the permits that he wants. He's running the government essentially the same way he ran his business.
Exactly. When he was in New York in particular, he's known for steamrolling communities in order to get these projects done. Trump Soho, which they recently sold, they had to get out of that because it was losing money because the brand is so damaged. But Trump Soho was problematic even before all the controversy with it when he became president or during the campaign. It was problematic because the community didn't want that hotel. And despite that, he went in, he steamrolled the local community. He's done that in many communities, not just in the U.S., around the world. He's done that in Scotland and other places. And he's taking that same approach where it's basically corruption, lawlessness, and he's applying it to how he runs the presidency.
And Charlie, I'll ask you the same question I asked Kurt. Yeah. How is it that Republicans have managed to convince ordinary rank-and-file Republican voters that it is good for them to have more pollution in the streets, good for them to have more smog in the air, good for them to give the rich whatever it is they want?
Well, Kurt was absolutely right, though. I mean, this has been a Republican mantra for years about the regulatory state, the power of the administrative state. And he also made a very important point. Keep in mind that the reason the president is able to do this unilaterally is because we have ceded so much power to the really unaccountable administrative state. Where was the legislative process in imposing these regulations, but also in repealing these regulations? This would be a moment, I think, to step back and go, okay, has the presidency become too powerful? Has the administrative state become too powerful that they could do this? But again, understand that for the last 20 years, this has been a consistent Republican mantra about too much regulation. It has made us uncompetitive. It has killed jobs. And again, this is not going to be something you're going to see much pushback among Republicans.
And Kurt, last word to you. Where's Bannon? I thought he was a populist. What happened to that?
Well, he's a populist as long as it suits his own personal interests. I mean, I think the thing about Steve Bannon is he's not an ideologue. He's out there to, as he has put it, to destroy the establishment, to destroy the pillars that hold up this republic. He doesn't care about our particular issue over another. He's not driven by a moral center ground or conviction. He doesn't build things, he tears them down. I think that's the biggest hypocrisy for Steve, and the biggest misunderstanding about Bannon is really what he's there to do, and it's all about disruption and chaos because that's where he thrives.
Yeah, and he's a Goldman Sachs alum who's about to get a big tax cut because he's one of the rich.
He'll be benefiting from this.
Yes, he will. Tara Dowdell is sticking around. Charlie Sykes, Kurt Bardella, thank you guys. Appreciate you.